The 2022 Mondrakers have officially dropped at Fly Rides. If you've ever thought that playful handling and hard-hitting downhill were incompatible, well, I've got news for you, and that news is the Mondraker Level R. This downhill shred sled is pushing the limits of what electric mountain bikes can do at a price point that is going to be appealing to those who are just dipping their toe into the downhill game, but still with specs that are going to make you drool like a basset hound at a backyard barbecue. So let's dig into how the 2022 Level R leveled up. Let's break down some specs. Let's talk about specs, baby. Leading the way on the Mondraker Level R is going to be that Bosch Smart System. That's of course going to mean a Bosch CX motor with 85 Newton meters of torque and 250 watts, plus that industry-leading 750 watt-hour battery. That's going to mean a lot of range on this baddie, and Mondraker has you set up with the complete Bosch Smart System with that Bosch LED remote and the Kiox 300 display. That motor partners with a SRAM GX Eagle 12-speed derailleur on an 11 to 50 tooth cassette in the back. Reminder, those SRAM derailleurs are going to come with single-click levers, which I'm a big fan of because it helps me protect that derailleur from its worst enemy, me. And SRAM is going to round out the group set as well. You are getting beefy Code R brakes, 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes on this bike, along with an even beefier rotor setup, 220mm rotors up front and a 200mm rotor in the back. You might remember if you watched our intro to Mondraker video that Mondraker comes with a very unique suspension setup that I personally love. It is the Zero Suspension System. It keeps you on the ground during intense climbs, but it is very playful in the descent and definitely helps eat up some of those bigger drops. It pairs nicely with a 180mm travel fork that is going to be the Fox 38 Float Performance with a Fit Grip damper. That's a newer damper from Fox, inspired by their motocross stuff. Motocross design dampers should be good for the big hits that this bike is designed for. And then Mondraker must really love you guys because they have got you set up with one of the best downhill shocks. It's the downhill ready Fox DHX2 Performance Elite shock. This excellent coil spring shock I was kind of surprised to see on this bike, especially at the price point this bike is offered. And it definitely helps set this bike apart from any other downhill enduro eMtb. Speaking of price point, because I do think I heard someone say that, make sure you check out FlyRidesUSA.com so you can get the best pricing, because I don't know when you're watching this, it could be 2 years from now. We could all be living on Mars by that point, and who knows how much e-bikes are going to cost on Mars. So go visit FlyRidesUSA.com to check out all the pricing on Mondraker bikes and other downhill enduro options. The other thing you might remember from our intro to Mondraker video is their forward geometry. This is basically a way to keep their enduro options much more playful than other enduro downhill bikes, and I'm a big fan. The geometry is staying about the same this year. It's going to be a 65-degree head tube angle and a 73.5 seat tube angle. We are going to need to seriously thrash this bike in order to make sure that it holds up to the downhill rigors that we know some of you can put it through. And there's only one man for the job when it comes to shredding at Fly Rides. You know him as Austin from Fly Rides, and actually, so do I. So you know what, while we're watching this, think of a nickname for him and leave it in the comments below. What should Austin's nickname be? I'm sure he's gonna love this. Anyway, let's go watch Austin terrify his wife on the Mondraker Level R.
So as you all know, we are out here on the 2022 Mondraker Level R. It's Mondraker's staple Enduro eMtb, featuring full 29er wheel set with 180 millimeters of travel up front and 170 millimeters of travel in the frame. And yes, you heard me right, full 29er. This bike is a boat, it's a beast. It's just meant to crush over everything you pointed at. Here we come up to the start of the trail where we have to merge left and get off the bike, utilize walk assist. Let me get it down into a lower gear so that the walk assist engages good. And yes, we're gonna do some hike-a-biking. Hold down on the minus on this new Bosch system, roll it up onto this rock and let the walk assist do its job. All right, now that we've caught our breath, getting ready to drop in, getting into that good mental state because yeah, we're gonna need it. This is an intense trail built to handle bikes just like this. We're gonna take it at a little bit more of a moderate pace, not going to crush any land speed records. Got this heavy bike. We're gonna ride it with control and keep it as smooth as possible. Let's drop on in, right into the rock roll, into the drop. Rock roll, here we go. Send it off the drop. Hard right hand berm. All right, now let's gather ourselves. Ooh, crack the neck, it's about to get a little steep. Woo. Rock roll. Woo. Controlling those brakes. Hit the little gap jump and prepare ourselves for the next section. Next jump. Woo. Ha ha. My favorite little jib right here. Bunny hop off this. Land on the rock. Set up outside. Woo, so we can clear this. All right. Woo. Compose ourselves for the lily pad drops right here. Like I said, this trail's intense. Oh. Drop 1, 2, 3, and number 4. Woo, woo, woo. All right. Heart rate is up right now. And got to get ready for the really steep chute right here. Whew. Focus up. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Woo, 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 woo. All righty. Right into a drop right away. Let's get that seat down. Got a little gap right here. Air that out. Here's the tech part. Roll over the outside. Into that. Into a drop. Into another drop. Woo. Still out of breath. Heart rate's at 155 right now. About to pedal into this really steep rock roll right here. Definitely gonna take advantage of this short stem, which is gonna keep me well balanced, as well as that slack head tube angle. And right after that, we're gonna head into a long, chunky straightaway into a jump between two rocks, where that chunky straightaway, this 180 mil travel with the 170 coil in the rear, is gonna be soaking it all up in combination with those full 29 front and rear. So without further ado, let's do it. Enjoy the beautiful sounds of Chundari Rock. Whoop, there we go, all righty. Made it over the rock roll. And now we're about to get rowdy. Long straightaway, super chunky, into the jump. Just listen to beautiful sights, I'm not gonna talk. Woo! And yes, not talking there. Need and want full concentration. It always gets a little bit hairy, especially when you're going pretty fast. Woo! This bike is an absolute beast. It still carries everything that I thought about the Crafty and how well it rides and how great the geometry maneuvers, but just in a little bit heavier package with a little bit more of an aggressive suspension setup with that 180 mil travel up front as opposed to the 160 on the Crafty. Yeah, this bike's for somebody that either wants to send it and be able to hit big jumps, hit big drops, charge through rock gardens as we just did right there, or B, it's for somebody that just really wants the ultimate comfort out of their bike. Similar to the Niner WFO E9, this bike's a heavy behemoth with 180 millimeters of travel, but that really makes this bike climb extremely well, especially with that coil, similar to the Niner. Makes it climb extremely well, extremely comfortable. And yeah, if you want that super comfort driven, plush suspension setup e-bike, this is probably the bike for you.
So we have talked about and seen how deliciously the Level R shreds. But I also have to say that for riders like me, there really isn't a Mondraker that isn't a great option. What I loved about the Level R is that I was still able to do my favorite single track trails just with a little bit more confidence and comfort, while also dipping my toe into the downhill game. So if you're looking back at Austin's video and saying, no way in a million years, just know that the forward geometry really does allow for quite a lot of playfulness And that zero suspension helps you stick to trails really well if you're using this bike on less intense trails. I do want to talk a little bit about why you would get an enduro bike with the Bosch Smart System, because at first I was a little bit skeptical and wasn't really sure if it made complete sense. Since the Bosch Smart System has been released, I definitely have thought of it more as a commuting and maybe light trail bike usage sort of system. But after riding the Level R, there's definitely a couple reasons I would get it on an enduro bike. First of all, it is the only way you're going to be able to get a 750 watt-hour battery from Bosch. While that battery is going to add a little bit of weight to your bike, I definitely think the benefits outweigh the negative aspects of going with the 750 watt-hour battery. You're going to be able to lap your favorite enduro trails more throughout the day, and it's going to be less dangerous because you can just keep your assistance in turbo and not have to worry about running out of battery thanks to those extra watt hours. This way, you're able to just focus on the downhill. I also like the fact that it is the one Bosch system that you can get rid of your display. Now, it does come with that Kiox 300, but if you have concerns about that display mount snapping off and damaging your display, riding displayless should be especially appealing to you. One thing I was a little bit concerned about was how far out that display was from the handlebars. But with the Bosch Smart System, if you want, you can just leave that display at home or just completely sell it on the black market, or I guess eBay would make more sense. But I do think this is a major benefit, especially to more aggressive downhill riders. But the ability to update that motor over the air, as Bosch says, via Bluetooth, should never be underrated. That is definitely a major plus to the Bosch Smart System. I found most of my concerns about the extra weight to be quelled after riding the bike. Mondraker knows what they're doing with the designs on these bikes. It really didn't affect my ride, and it didn't seem to affect Austin's ride either. All in all, I think the Mondraker Level R offers a lot no matter what style of riding you like to do on your electric mountain bike. While it is definitely most appropriate for downhill and enduro usage, there's no question that you can use it for all mountain riding as well. In my opinion, a little extra travel never hurt anyone, and Mondraker does have a great all-mountain tire setup with 29er wheels and 2.5-inch Maxxis. This and the forward geometry will keep things playful in single track if you're using it on those kind of trails, but it's also going to help you conquer even the most intense enduro obstacles. But if you want to see if one of Mondraker's all-mountain cross-country bikes might be a little bit more appropriate for you, I'll pop a couple of videos up here so that you can watch them. And please drop a like below if you did find this video helpful, and make sure to subscribe to the Fly Rides Electric Bike channel so you're not missing out on any electric bike content, especially these crucial electric mountain bike reviews. Thanks for watching, you guys, and until next time, enjoy the ride.